Tomorrow we do have prayer 7:15 until 8:15. Friday morning prayer as usual. Saturday we have zero going on, nothing going on Saturday, so no outreach. So do what we need to do.
Amen.
We celebrate nice.
Oh,
Then Sunday we are back here. Remember, we've got a youth event this coming Sunday, and so please let's call as many youth as we can. Let's bring them all in. Let's try and have more youth than at last time. We obviously got the order in pizza as well, so it's going to be a great time. And that is it for all the announcements. Obviously, we got this event at the end of the month on the 30th. Is it a bank holiday that Monday?
yeah.
Yeah. So bank holiday Monday. So
Saturday we've got Saturday. Yeah.
yeah, I'm saying, is it bank holiday on the Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And yeah, that's it. Let's get straight into it. Speak for this. You get the first second, second. Helen, if you can get Genesis 29:17. Phoebe, if you can get first Peter 3:3. And Nana, if you can get Genesis 3:21. And Tyra, if you can get Matthew 23. Amen. So today we're going to be talking about low self-esteem and image. Low self-esteem and image. So the first question I want to ask is, how does self-esteem develop in a person, a man or a woman? Do you want me to ask the question again? Didn't hear it maybe. Let me ask that again. How does low self-esteem develop in a man or a woman?
From how they live.
From how they're raised, okay. Do you want to expand on that a bit?
You have like the loving mom, loving dad, amazing, you like learn about your work,
Okay.
things that are going there in your home where it's always abusive to them.
Okay, that's a very good point. Felicio? Okay, bullying. Okay, yourself?
Say comparison.
Comparison. So comparing yourself to others. Okay, yourself, Tim?
Felicia said that.
Okay, yourself?
I think like genetics, family genetics, like it pass like a pass over like a domino effect within family.
What do you mean? What self-esteem? It passes on in genes.
It can pass on in like terms of family, terms of like
Probably not. However, it can probably pass on genetic traits, but not necessarily low self-esteem. Yourself?
Words spoken.
Words spoken on a person, okay?
Having the wrong view of yourself.
Yeah, but how'd you get to the wrong view? Physical appearance, yeah. Isn't this ironic?
Come on, Pastor, preach it.
Go on.
No, what she said.
Okay. Go on.
Yeah, how people deal and handle failure.
Yeah, failure could cause someone to lose self-esteem. Anyone else, Tyra? Yeah, so. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what you said. Yourself? Pardon? Someone cheated on you? Yeah. Someone cheats on you can definitely have an effect on your self-esteem. Would you agree or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've ever had someone cheat on her in the world? And how did it affect you?
It made me very hateful towards the opposite sex, and it also brought on a lot of trust issues.
Okay.
So it made me hateful, a lot of trust issues, and then it also made me doubt a lot of things, especially in ways of like my understanding and my perception of things, because I began to, how can I say, you begin to question everything and all the small details and all the small little, you know what I mean, all the little things, like you begin to question everything. Yeah.
Okay. See, how does self-esteem how does low self-esteem develop in society? Our society is, someone said words and what we see. So what you said and what you said. Words spoken over someone can really do a lot to their self-esteem. Let me say that again. Are you guys listening? You guys seem like you're in another zone. In fact, you know what? Move forward. Everyone move forward. Move forward. Because everyone's just you're like half asleep or something. When you come to church, you need to be a little bit more lively. Forward. Your wife's there. Move forward. That's the blessing of having a wife. So now, in our society, it's words that are spoken. How can words damage someone's self-esteem, Danny? Yup, 100%. What about you, Tyra? How can words damage someone's self-esteem?
When you internalize everything that people tell you.
Okay. So what type of words could damage someone's self-esteem?
Ugly.
Huh?
Like you're ugly or something.
You're ugly. Anyone ever been called ugly here? Has anyone ever been called ugly here?
Yes.
Any other words? Okay.
I'll say explicit language and like cussing.
Okay, yeah. Explicit language, that's definitely yourself. Sorry? People mocking your skin color. Yeah, mocking your skin color, yeah, that's a big one. You know, mocking someone's skin complexion. I know a lot of people have skin dysphoria here.
Skin dysphoria.
Huh? Sorry?
I think some people want to elaborate, they want to elaborate on that.
People have skin issues. They're not light enough, and so they don't see themselves as good enough. Have you ever, I'm sure you've come across that, right?
Yeah.
Really, when I came to Sheffield, that's when it really, I was meeting a lot more black folks in Sheffield who had sort of, and I found it strange because obviously where I grew up, because you never really get a lot. You get a little bit, but it's not like as much here. And so there was a lot of people had, like, I remember meeting a certain female who she was telling me, she's basically, you could tell she had low self-esteem, but she really hates, like, she has this hatred towards white folks. And it's because when she went to school, she was, they'll say stuff about her hair, they will say stuff about her skin, and some of it was innocent, some of it, and she went through all of that, and that just gave her a complex. Like it just really messed her up. And when I was speaking to her, you can tell, even though she's like all of this, but she still has an issue with her. So 100%, very true. Anyone else?
Issues with somebody like, say somebody grew up with alopecia, somebody gets bullied because of having.
Yeah, so image again. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can talk about image again.
Yeah.
So,
I say one is like harsh jokes. A lot of time people can be bantering, but then there's certain things that can cut people deeper than you realize.
yeah, harsh jokes. Harsh jokes can be, you might see it as a joke, but you don't know what someone's going through yourself.
So like if you have an achievement and then people like talk rubbish about it saying that it's not as good.
Yeah, definitely. Why can you not be like you've become a nurse, but your brother is a doctor? Right? That type of thing, right? Yeah, so but that happens a lot in African households. Why can you not be like you compare your kids and all sorts. And so the problem, and so there is the words and then there is the image. What do I mean by image? That can destroy self-esteem.
Do you mean like the kind of unattainable beauty standard that the world has?
Yeah, 100%. So, especially, I feel like a lot of people your age are under a lot of pressure to look a certain way. And the younger kids are getting, they're under even more pressure to, like, let's talk about girls with regards to image, and then let's talk about guys with regards to image. Like, when we talk about self-esteem with females, what type of image are we talking about?
Like big lips, like Botox.
Okay.
The one I see a lot is like, especially with like black girls, they always want to straighten their hair. They don't want to have their natural hair out, things like that.
Yeah. That's a big one. If we're going to talk about self-esteem, we might as well go deep into it. And so obviously God made you with afro hair. But it's very true that why do females, because there's something, it's not just, hey, beauty, yeah, it's beauty, but there's something there. That you've got that image from somewhere. I don't know if I'm making sense. That image it hasn't come from anywhere, it's come from somewhere, and like we have to, so because if you look at we'll park that for a second. And so what's the next one? So we talk about females first.
No, who you get like BBL, so
Okay. I actually saw one where this girl from, I think she was from South London, she went to Brazil, and it's when they get their bottoms done, right?
yeah.
And so what ended up happening is she went to this clinic, and instead of them putting that I don't know what they put in there, but they put cement in her bottom, and she ended up dying. You laughed, didn't you? And so she actually, because obviously to pump cement,
That's heavy.
it's an evil thing that they did. And so she ended, but they're saying a lot more women are dying from operations that they don't really need, and it's all because of image. And that image comes down to, I don't feel my bottom isn't good enough, my breasts aren't good enough, my hair isn't good enough, my lips aren't good enough. It all comes down to a low self-esteem. That's why we try and enhance ourselves. I don't know if that's making sense. So there's a reason, listen, there's always a reason why someone does something. There's never, it's not just, hey, I just want to do it. You know, people, yeah, I just want to do it. But why do you want to? Right? Yes.
Yeah, a lot of makeup as well.
Makeup is another one. Now, I'm not saying like, the Bible talks about there's certain females who would paint themselves and so on. They call it paint, but there are some females who they will never let their husband or their boyfriend or whatnot see them without makeup. I don't know, but there was a documentary I was watching, and this woman would literally get up in the morning and she would put on makeup and get back in bed. She'd never let her husband see her without makeup. Like, if you have to, and can I just be real? If you're scared to go out without any type of makeup, there is an issue. Does that make sense? It's not. All I'm saying is it's not normal that you don't want to go out without your normal face. There has to be an issue. Remember, there's always a reason for why you're doing something. So there's a reason why you won't step out your house until I see girls at the gym with a full, and I'm like, how are you going to even sweat? And I can tell they're not even going hard, because if you start sweating, it's just gonna be like lines and like, it's crazy, like just full on makeup. I'm thinking, wow, you can't train with that. But they do. Okay, we've parked the girls for a second. What about guys? Six pack. What does that mean? What do you mean? Okay, but what's that? Yeah, obsession. There's some guys who are obsessed with gym. Obsessed. Like, I'm talking about, I know a lot of guys. Like, the other day I was at the gym, and I'm working out, doing my own thing, and this guy's like, bro, man, how did you get your physique like that? He thought I was gonna say to him, yeah, take this thing and inject it and blah blah blah. I said, bro, I've been training for like 18, 19 years. He's like, and I said to him, bro, I've never done stairs. I don't even drink your protein and stuff like that. I just eat properly and so on and so forth. But I would say it's literally coming to like 90% of guys who go gym are on stairs. Honestly. Like, you see all of these guys. In fact, that same day I saw this Iranian guy. We used to go to, because I didn't even recognize him, because the guy's like skinny now. And so he came up to me, he's like, bro. And I was like, yeah, how you doing, man? You know when you don't recognize him. How you doing? And he said, yeah, man, like, do you not go to Pure Gym? You remember I used to go Pure? I was like, yeah. And so he started telling me he went back to Kurdistan. Yeah, he's Kurdish, sorry. We went back to Kurdistan, and he said he went there for 4 years. When this guy came back, and then I reckoned, bro, when he first started, the guy was massive. And in 4 years, it's just like, she's like skinny, like slim. And I know he was on gear. And a lot of guys are putting their lives at risk. Like, I'm hearing 30-year-old men dying of heart disease. Yeah. And how is that possible? Do you know how that's possible? Because guys are so obsessed with, I want to get jacked, I want to get big, I want to get big. So they're injecting themselves with anything. Is that true? I don't know if anyone knows guys like that.
Yeah, just to obviously his discovery, he got stripped off TV and that. Now all these
Yeah, I think I know the guy you're talking about, black guy, right?
Yeah.
And so, but if you think about it, like your all of these guys, and the thing is, you see these celebrities and they're jacked, massive, and guys, you know how back in the day we used to be females who had that pressure of image. Guys have that same image issue now. honestly, guys have that same, huh? What's that?
I'm gonna say even with the hair, to be honest.
Even with the what?
Like I see a lot of like guys who like to get their hair done like a lot now.
Yeah,
Trims.
like they'll get a trim every week. Their hair will not be out. It's just like they would, you know, guys like with guys now they'll get tattoo on their head because they're losing their hair. They'll get a tattoo to look like the hair. It's like, bro, if it's gone, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Just let it be. You know, and you know what? I feel for him because there is this thing like the whole image thing, and when you see a lot of images, the more you're on social media, the more you'll have this body dysmorphia thing. And you the more you look, you see, you just see, and even if you're in great shape, you look and you're like, my days, how the heck did he get a 12 pack? It's just like, it's just, and you see it, and the more you're on social media, that's why social media is so messed up and dangerous. The more, who's ever been on social media, you felt good, then you leave it, and then you just feel like, yourself?
Yeah, I was gonna say thing that's also making a lot of guys insecure now is a lot of these like male self-help channels where it's like if you're not rich, if you ain't got money, you're basically a partner. No girl's gonna want you. So there's a lot of guys who are out there. They look good, but then it's like they're trying to hustle, do anything to get money. And then social media compounds that because you can go out clubbing, but if you haven't got a bottle or VIP now, you're just insecure. You just feel you're looking around like, how am I gonna pull any girl in if these guys pop in £1,000 and they'll just snatch you over. So it's like a real toxic.
No, do you know what? That is very true. Some of these, so it's called the 666. Have you ever heard of the 666? 6 foot tall, 6-figure sum, and 6-pack abs. If you ain't got those, you are a nobody. That's literally the 666. This is what they say, and it's like, if God didn't make you 6 foot, what can you do? In fact, there's surgeries now where you can make yourself taller.
Yeah, I've seen that. I'm researching.
And it's like, how did we become this way? Where it's just, and it's sort of like we are doing it to each other. Guys are doing it to girls, and girls are doing it to guys. We are doing it to each other, and like we knocking each other's self-esteem. It's just we are image obsessed. If you don't look a certain way, and even in church, you could have a good brother who's filled with the Holy Ghost, preaching, good brother, or even a good sister, and someone will say, "I just see him as a friend." Well, friends are usually the best relationships. But because you see him as a friend, and you see him as a friend because you don't really see him, you're looking at the image and not really liking what you're seeing. And so, hey, I see him as a friend. But if I hit certain, if I get to a certain age, and I'm talking about men and women, if I get to a certain age and then you know what, you keep them on ice until all options are depleted, and then you go back to it.
Also, at that point, what about if you're not attracted to the person?
If you're not what, sorry?
You're not attracted to the person, like, yeah.
So we gotta look at image. We gotta look at what is, because we talk about attraction and so on and so forth. But surely in life there must be more to a person than just their attraction. surely. I saw the nicest thing, and I call it nice. It's kind of horrible even calling it nice. This girl, she's a really good-looking young woman, and she married this guy he's not full body. He's like they say he's got like this condition, can't move his arms. He's like wheelchair bound, and he can't move anything. And she fell in love with him. They got married, and like when you see him and when you see her, it's like, you know, she always has to be telling people, no, I'm not his carer, I'm his wife. And when she speaks about him, there's so many good qualities to the guy that if, you know, a lot of people are looking for love, especially females, looking for love. And don't get me if I'm wrong with this, but you're looking for love, but because we are so image obsessed, and let me ask a question before this. Why are we image obsessed? Why do you think that is? Why do we want to have the nicest thing on our arm? Somebody. Why is that, someone? Tell me. Yourself. Then yourself. To who? Exactly. To show off to people.
With me, I think, as we were talking about following the image put from the world, like you should look like this.
Yeah.
I think it's bringing confusion with the way the person should look set by the world and with attraction.
What do you mean? What do you mean? So,
Because we all looks in a certain way,
yeah.
but the things that we are talking about with attraction, it's, I think, for how I'm starting to understand things when we are talking about attraction, it's about how the person gonna behold in his soul.
Okay.
So that healing that we are talking about, and know who you are, your identity, gonna attract, create that attraction.
Yeah.
So we can say, yes, that person is a good person, or maybe can serve in church and things like that, but that person is not healed inside, he won't attract the person.
Oh, I get what you're
Do
saying.
you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think
Park that a minute, because it's yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point. Yourself, and so we're gonna come back to that later. Yourself, and then yourself.
I think another reason why people are so obsessed with like having such a good thing on their arm or constantly obtaining the new best thing is because for a lot of people they feel as though it will bring self-worth, like it will validate them as a person. Like that's why as well, like I always see like a lot of, I try not to say this to people, but it's like a lot of reasons why rich people or successful people, quote unquote, struggle with life is because they spend their lives chasing something and they realize that it doesn't mean anything. Like Tyson Fury or like, you know, anyone. So I think a lot of people, like if I have a certain, you know, like if I have a certain kind of wife, she looks a certain way, this means I'm a certain kind of man. I must be successful, I must be good looking, I must be same way with like a woman. If I have this kind of husband, if I have this kind of car, if I have this kind of same kind of thing.
Yeah. It brings something to them. It gives them that boost, like look at what I got.
Mm-hmm.
Alright? That's why we won't date certain people. And it's sad. Because I feel a lot of people miss out. There's some good people out there. There might not be, and do you know what? Is there such a thing as an ugly person in the world? God made all of us, so he knows why he made that person.